Hello Scorpio, and welcome back to the channel. It's Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and it's time for November readings. We are using a new tarot deck this month. We've got the Star Maiden Tarot here, and ooh, fun. We've pulled the Four of Wands just randomly. It's a good card to pull for any birthday Scorpios, which is all of you. It's a beautiful deck with a beautiful kind of color scheme. The only thing I do have to be wary of with this deck is there is the occasional bosom that I may have to fix in post. But other than that, because YouTube community guidelines does not even like illustrated bosoms. So, but we will forge ahead and we will persevere. So before we get started, let me just remind you that these are general readings. So we'll talk about whatever comes up, but they are going to be for a variety of Scorpios who show up. So it's not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. I'll give out a sampling of scenarios. It might really resonate with you this month. It might resonate a little bit this month. It might resonate a little bit later in the month because it might be predictive, and it might kind of kick in later in the month. Or one of your other placements might be more resonant. So be sure to check out the videos for your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. And let me just remind you with so much love and respect that these readings are for support or for fun and entertainment. They do not compel. You are not forced to take the advice or the message in any way. Use your best judgment, use your intuition. If it doesn't resonate with you, then leave it for someone who wants it or needs it, or who accepts it. With that said, you are welcome to join me in the next portion where we actually lay out the cards. I am going to give the deck a really long shuffle, and I fast forward over that part because it is long and solemn. So I will shuffle the deck and I will meet you in the layout in just a moment. See you there. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what we've got. The Four of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, oh my dear, the Seven of Swords. Okay. So if you've been with me before, you know that I read this particular card, this one, as sort of the main energy or the main focus of this particular reading. This isn't the only thing that's on deck for you this month. This is just the focus of the message for this particular reading. So what this card is for me, what the Seven of Swords is for me, is it's about strategy. It's about sort of a spin. It's about your head start. It's about getting a jump on the competition. So, and just a word, I should work this into my preamble too. If you're a fan of the tarot, if you're here, you're probably a fan of the tarot, and you probably visit other tarot readers, and you may read tarot for yourself as well. So this is one of those cards that different tarot readers tend to have sort of different interpretations for. And so mine might be different from how you interpret the Seven of Swords, and from how other readers might read this one. So If you have a different definition for this, or if you've heard a different definition for this one, kind of keep that, in your back pocket. And here's what it is for this particular message, for this particular reading. Some readers don't see this as a particularly positive card, but I do. I see it as it's a little heads up. It's a little note that you're about to get an advantage because you were there first, or because you were kind of smarter than the next person, or because you kind of saw something that other folks didn't see. Now, this can often come up, like if you're someone who is looking for a job, or a new position, whether you're completely seeking a new job, you're completely unemployed, and you're putting out resumes in a bunch of different places. It could be the sort of thing where you get your resume in first because you anticipate a need, or because you have a friend who's an insider someplace you want to work, or your friend gets your resume to their boss or something like that. It could be that kind of a heads up or foot in the door sort of a thing. And it could be some sort of insider knowledge, like your friend lets you know, well, my boss likes these words on a resume, or likes this kind of employee, or, some sort of information that you have that you're able to use to your advantage, that gets you the job that you actually want, and you're able to use this information to your advantage, and you jump on it. You don't hesitate, you don't hem and haw, you're ready to go, and it happens to be a good fit or something like that. It's not always that, you have a friend on the inside. Sometimes you're just smart enough to see the trends, and you've been watching a company, or watching a particular role or something, position, and you're ready when that position opens up, and you've got your resume polished, or whatever it is. It could be that sort of thing. But there's usually this kind of early bird that gets the worm, plus you're ready. You're ready with the right spin. You're ready with your marketing materials. You're ready to pitch yourself, or you've got your ideas, you've got your portfolio, you've got your audition monologue, whatever it is, you are ready. You can even see it in this. I love it in this. Let's see if we can get this in focus. Sometimes we have to force the issue. Da 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 da. Sorry to be a little bit dramatic here. There we go. Okay. You can even see, right, that the sun is kind of coming up. It's early in the morning. This central character is about to be main character. This fella knows he has main character energy, but he is up before the dawn, and sneaking out. Well, I shouldn't. That sounds sneaky, doesn't sound on the up and up, but he is ready to go. The early bird gets the worm, right? So what does that mean with this being the central message here? In November, something that you want is yours. You just have to be ready with your pitch. So if you don't have the interview yet, or if you haven't sent out your resumes yet, or whatever the scenario is, get your resumes ready, practice your pitch or your monologue or whatever it is, because it is coming. And it does look like, and we'll get to these other cards here, it does look like the only thing that holds you back from this, sort of victory is sort of these other mind games that you can play on yourself, because the Seven of Swords tells us you have the talent, you have the package, and you have kind of the path to the victory, to the thing that you want. And if it's not a job, this could also be like a relationship. This could also be getting into the school that you want to get into, or some sort of licensing program or something like that. It'll be different for different Scorpios, right? You'll know how this fits in your life, but something that you want to be a part of, something that you want that is going to further your sort of your life goals, your life path, something you want on the next step. Maybe it's joining an improv troupe, or oh, I had a friend, one of my favorite Scorpios, actually, one of my favorite Scorpios in life, used to do stage combat, and she trained really hard in stage combat and became and did sort of stage combat. Oh, I shouldn't out her, I suppose. But there was a part of her life that was doing stage combat. I should probably speak with her before I talk about her life. So we'll put that on the back burner, and maybe next month I'll speak about how, because it has since become part of her career. But there was a time when it wasn't, she didn't get paid for it. And so anyway, we'll table that. But, and interestingly, stage combat, she does handle swords in a sense now. But it has been her life's work, both paid and unpaid, in a variety of different ways. But in any case, my point is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a conventional, 9 to 5 piece for you. This could also be about like the next phase in, like, you could be a playwright. And it could be the kind of thing like getting into a writing program, or the next phase in getting your book published or something like that. Okay, I think you get the idea. For many of you, this might be about an actual 9 to 5 job, or getting more clients, or getting your Etsy store open, or getting more followers on your YouTube channel, your TikTok, or whatever it is. But whatever it is you need to do to get to the next phase, there's some kind of something that you do that puts you in a place ahead of the competition, that gets you to the next level that you want in an area of your life that is important to you, that you are trying to advance, that is significant to you. And now we are going to look at some of the other ways that you may want to ensure you keep this forward momentuming. How can we keep this progressing? How can we keep this movement moving forward, right? Okay, so the next card we have here is the Four of Cups, which is one of those tricky cards, because usually we see the central character who is, a character who is healthy, well-fed, but sitting next to a few cups that are just, spent. There's nothing in these cups. And the character is not aware that right behind them is a hand about to offer another cup. So we typically read the Four of Cups as someone who is not happy about having already used up these cups, or these cups are spent. Sometimes the imagery of the character in the Four of Cups here is disgruntled, disappointed, bored. This character looks a little sad, morose maybe, but there's about to be an offer that this person doesn't even see, because they're looking the wrong direction. They're kind of focused on on what they don't have instead of looking forward to the future. If they just were kind of more aware of their environment, they would see that there's something available to them. One thing about that's fun about the tarot is kind of seeing how the artwork on the layout kind of interacts. This fellow is walking into the direction where this cup is kind of being. So this guy is almost about to walk towards that cup. So, I mean, we're talking about this offer is coming. Also, let me point out that cups are about satisfaction, the feeling of connection, the feeling of satiety. Often cups have to deal with our personal connections. So it could be, again, connected with a friend has that connection for you, a job connection or a client connection, something like that. A job or a sale comes through a friend. It could be something like that. This offer comes through a friend, as I had mentioned earlier. It could also be that a collaboration comes through a friend. You go into business or whatever. If this isn't a job 9 to 5 kind of thing, if it's that artistic endeavor, maybe you're writing a book with a friend and this offer to collaborate comes through a friend. It could be that sort of thing that you hadn't considered before or hadn't seriously considered, something like that. So this Four of Cups is suggesting that an offer that maybe you hadn't yet considered or hadn't yet seen is just behind you or just in your environment, but because you're ready to make a move, because you're ready to make some progress, because you're ready to lock something down, you're ready for a change, you're ready to make some progress. When this character is ready to get up, I guess when he's sitting here, you know, in the moonlight, kind of being all moony, when he's ready to face the day, maybe that's when he sees the cup. Now let's talk about this Five of Pentacles. Because when the Five of Pentacles comes up, this card can often talk about a feeling of lack, a feeling of not having enough, or a feeling of being left out in the cold. It's an awareness of a lack of resources. This can literally be not having enough money, being worried about how you're going to pay the rent or the mortgage, or the car insurance, something like that. For some folks, for some Scorpios, this can be more about personal resources. Like if you've been working so hard, you know, sometimes when we're working to try to get something off the ground, and while we're also working kind of a crummy day job while pursuing the writing career, we're burning the candle at both ends and keeping the kids in school and everything like that. Especially at this time of year, we're getting close to the holidays, there's a lot going on. We can burn down our personal resources, and it's a great time to catch a cold. I mean, it's never a great time to catch a cold, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we just, this card can signal we've just been working so hard that we've worked ourselves into physical illness. Just a lack of health is what this can sometimes mean. But the advice that is inherent in the Five of Pentacles is always that there is help, is always that there is support. This image here, these kind of 5 pentacles are supposed to represent like this arch is actually a doorway. It typically signifies a door that this character could go to. In the old Rider-Waite-Smith version of the card, it's a church where the character could seek sanctuary. Now, a lot of us don't have a great connection with a church. Some of us still do, some of us do not. But if you don't have a church that you could turn to for assistance, you may have a sister or a coworker colleague, mom, or a partner. If you're feeling low either on physical resources or fiscal resources, this card suggests there's someone you can reach out to for 20 bucks for a run to the drugstore to pick you up some cold medicine, for emotional support, a shoulder to cry on, someone to take the kids, to the park so you can have a bubble bath, something. There's some support, and don't be shy about asking for someone to help you for an afternoon or help you in some way to make it through the end of the month, whatever you need. So there is that. As you're, about to make this next kind of goal, there's something in the environment that's about to be on offer, that's available to you, that's coming for you. And there's something that you can reach out to and ask for. Finally, this is that thing that happens inside. The Eight of Swords is that way we torture ourselves with that kind of overthinking. The Eight of Swords is that idea of ourself that maybe we got cemented when we were 11 or 16, that somehow we weren't enough, or some kind of philosophy we learned about who we were or where we came from that is just wrong, that is not fair and not nice, and that is ready to be removed, that is hampering us from greater success. And once we kind of jettison this, and maybe it's something that we inherited from our lineage, sometimes our own families have a faulty way of thinking or seeing or talking about the world. Sometimes we inherit it from our parents' religion or politics or something like that. Or sometimes it's just the way the girls in the gym locker room would talk about anything that we just inherited, that just became a part of our philosophy. Or something from our dating life or a marriage or something that got stuck into how we see the world and how we see ourselves, that keeps us from really truly flourishing, a way about thinking about ourselves that's kind of keeps us pinned down. It keeps us small. So this is the advice inherent in this Eight of Swords is there is some little last remaining philosophy that is maybe holding you back from this kind of strategic leap forward, from really being able to pitch yourself, or from jumping ahead, from putting yourself first in line, from going for that thing you want. There's that maybe part of you knows you're great at or would deserve. Maybe you're afraid to ask for that raise or that position or whatever it is. There's some little piece of thinking that you can root out. There's some request for help that you can ask for, and there's some offer in your environment. All these little pieces put together that are then going to lead to this sort of like next level leap that's going to put you ahead of the competition and get you to that place, that thing, that role, that whatever the next level thing is for you. So I will say this in closing, there is change afoot in November, and good change, progress. But it does require effort, right? So it's not just handed to you. Although it's available in your environment, it does require, a little conscious effort and action on your part, right? It does require a little rooting out of some, problematic programming. It does require taking a little bit of a risk and asking for help, which you don't love to do, and that bit requires trust, right? And I think in recent years, the trusting bit has been rough. So it's going to feel like a different kind of progress than you might be used to. But there is an upgrade by the end of the month. I hope that's helpful, Scorpio. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please take good care of yourself. And until next time, bye for now.